New theory is bringing attention to the decades-old cold case of the Zodiac Killer.
Murder, mystery, mayhem. They're all going down tonight when two elusive murderers go head-to-head in a serial killer showdown. It's Jack the Ripper versus the Zodiac Killer. Let's get to know these mysterious murderers. First up is one of England's most evil exports. It's Jack the Ripper. Stalking the impoverished streets of East London's Whitechapel district, this famous serial killer was active between August and November of 1888. Within this densely populated and crime-ridden area, the Ripper viciously targeted young female sex workers. With a stealthy approach and his trademark throat slit, spending alone time with Jack was a quick and brutal death sentence. Over 130 years later, Jack's identity remains a mystery. Will this specter of the London fog overshadow his opponent? Next up is the eerie Zodiac Killer, who blasted to infamy in Northern California in the late 1960s. Zodiac typically went after young couples in secluded areas after dark. Relying on a handgun and the element of surprise, this cold killer committed a string of local murders. Described by witnesses and survivors as a white man aged 25 to 30, police failed to develop a suitable composite sketch. Zodiac communicated with the press and the authorities through cryptic letters and even directly via phone call. But still, this serial killer managed to slip through the cracks and elude the police. Is your skin crawling yet? It's time to see who's the most maniacal madman in the ring. Jack the Ripper's career spanned just 4 months. Known as the Autumn of Terror, he murdered all his victims during this tight time frame. Victorian London's poorest district suffered from sickness and crime at this time, and Jack used it to his advantage. Cloaked by the fog and the chaos in the streets, Jack may have killed many more than the confirmed 5 women. Across the pond in California, the Zodiac Killer was also linked to 5 murders. While his killer instinct was undeniable, Zodiac had a looser schedule. His confirmed killing spree spanned from December 1968 to October 1969. Zodiac's career may have been longer than Jack's, but it wasn't busier. Jack the Ripper preferred a sharp blade, and he was skilled with using knives. He also knew human anatomy, so people wondered if he worked as a butcher or a surgeon. After he suddenly inflicted these bloody deaths, this killer mutilated and dissected his victims' bodies. The Zodiac Killer also hunted his victims in cold blood. Though he usually used a handgun at close range, he occasionally stabbed his unlucky targets, but only after he restrained them. To increase the public's fear, both Jack and Zodiac sent creepy letters to officials that included pieces of evidence, risking a reveal of their identities. Between the gruesome crime scene photos published in newspapers, the lack of suspects, and a twisted trick involving a human kidney in the mail, the people of Whitechapel were terrified, and the police simply couldn't prove who Jack the Ripper was. Meanwhile, the Zodiac Killer took fear-mongering to the next level. Once, he called a TV talk show to brag about his crimes.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
This killer loved to sit back and watch society scramble to solve his riddles as he planned his next move. After all, he's best known and most feared for these types of antics rather than his predatory prowess. Even today, experts continue to try to crack his maze of codes and ciphers. But it takes more than getting attention to win this match. The Zodiac Killer may have had the public in the palm of his hand, but Jack did a better job of balancing mind games with murder. Like the nursery rhyme says, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, and Jack the Ripper understood the assignment. It's elementary, my dear Watson. The most fearsome fiend is Jack the Ripper. In this match, Jack the Ripper used strategy, skill, and patience to sneak into first place. While the Zodiac Killer was not someone to underestimate, he focused on terrorizing society, the media, and the police. His expertly encrypted messages and the ability to fly under the radar are impressive, but his ego may have hindered him. Jack had the physical ability to kill and demonstrated his sheer delight in doing so. This serial killer was sadistic and enjoyed destroying his victims' bodies. And unlike Sly Jack, Zodiac Killer was spotted by some victims and witnesses. He was more likely to be identified. Jack the Ripper is the bloodthirsty winner this time, but how would he fare against the real-life Dracula, Vlad the Impaler? We'll find out on another episode of Versus.